The show begins with the contestants who were helping Gi-hun are forced to surrender because they've run out of ammunition. They beg the guards to spare them, but sadly, the guards eliminate them one by one, showing no mercy. Even the painter, the man who joined the game to win money for his sick daughter's surgery, is seriously injured. A guard comes close and finishes him off, but before that, the painter whispers to him, pretending to be dead, and closes his eyes. The guards put him into a coffin for transport, but they mark it with a strange symbol, indicating they plan to harvest his organs, a sign that he's still alive. We then discover that it was Se Byuk who did this. She knew the painter before the game started and decided to risk everything to save his life, not for his sake, but for his daughter. She talks to the guards and pretends she's one of them now. She acts like she agrees with what they're doing and allows them to take the body. But then she asks about the location of the operations room, which makes the guards suspicious, because she had originally been against everything they were doing. One of the guards says, "Well, now that you're one of us, we're all in the same boat. I'll show you the place." She reassures him that she only wants money and won't tell anyone their secrets. But in truth, she wants to find the operation room to rescue the painter or anyone else who might still be alive. Later, the guards bring back a large coffin, pretending it's a gift, and place it among the remaining contestants. Everyone is confused and scared. As they approach to open it, they're shocked to find Gi-hun inside, whom they thought was dead. The former Special Forces girl goes to check on him and realizes he's still alive. She calls on the other contestants to help carry him to a bed and tend to his wounds. Meanwhile, Detective Hwang is on the ship. He notices that one of the guards is missing and starts investigating, but the captain tells him the missing man was probably drunk and fell overboard during last night's stormy sea. Of course, dear viewer, we already know from the last part that the captain is a traitor working for the Squid Game organizers. He was the one who killed the missing guard after discovering his true identity. He lies and says he saw him standing near the ship's edge, pretending it was an accident. Detective Hwang becomes suspicious and wants to search for the missing man's body, hoping he's still alive. The captain gets nervous and tries to convince him to drop it and continue the mission. We then see the guard's body washed up on an island, confirming his death. Back in the game, Gi-hun wakes up, haunted by nightmares of everything that happened. Voices echo in his head. He jolts awake, terrified, only to see the old woman and the remaining contestants standing over him to check if he's okay. They're happy to see he's still alive and help him get up. But Gi-hun is broken. The first thing he does is search for the teammates who were with him on the mission, but finds none of them. He learns that the game's owners ordered the guards to kill them all as punishment for trying to escape. He's consumed with guilt, believing it's all his fault, and falls into a state of shock. At that moment, a group of guards enters the room. They press a button on the vault, increasing the prize money. They inform the players that 35 contestants died because of what happened the night before. Only 60 players remain, and the total prize now stands at 40 billion won. They announce that a vote will be held to decide whether the players want to continue the game or quit and split the money. Gi-hun breaks down. He yells, "Why am I the only one you left alive?" He walks toward the guards in anger, puts a gun to his head, and demands they end it. "I broke the rules. I tried to escape. Why did you let me live?" The guards stop him, return him to his place, and handcuff him. He begins to cry uncontrollably, overwhelmed by guilt and the horror of everything he's witnessed. The game master watches Gi-hun from the screen, fully entertained. He's pleased to see that he has broken his spirit, pushing him to the point where he wishes for death. Instead of killing him, the game master decides to keep Gi-hun alive, to toy with him further, to see how he reacts. Will he rise up and act like a hero to save the remaining contestants? Or will he completely give up? Suddenly he receives a call from the ship's captain, who tells him that Detective Hwang and his group are getting closer to discovering the island. "I tried to delay them," the captain says, "but this is the best I could do." The game master replies coldly, "If you can't stop them, eliminate them all." The games on the island must finish first. They all need to be gone. The captain asks, "And what about the detective?" "Kill him too," the game master says without hesitation. "Do whatever is necessary for the sake of the game." Back on the island, the guards begin a vote. Gi-hun is asked to vote first, whether he wants to continue the game or quit, but he's paralyzed. He's in deep shock, completely disconnected from reality, consumed by grief. He just sits on the ground, staring into nothing. The guard gives him a countdown, 10, 9, but Gi-hun doesn't respond. The guard announces, "Vote abstained." His vote is no longer counted. The remaining contestants begin to vote. The first one up, blinded by greed, chooses to continue the game, still desperate for money. Meanwhile, a guard reports to the game master. Many guards were killed during the earlier attack. The game master orders replacements to be recruited from the workers and warns him to be extra cautious, no more mistakes. He also informs him that the VIPs, the ultra-wealthy sponsors, are arriving soon to watch the final rounds. Back at the facility, guards begin disposing of the dead contestants' bodies, sealing them in coffins and distributing them for various uses. Se-byok joins the black market organ harvesting crew, pretending to be one of them. She's determined to find the place where they perform the illegal surgeries. One of the guards is impressed by her sniper skills and asks her where she learned them and why she joined the game, but she avoids the question and tells him, "When the game ends, I'll tell you everything." Back to the vote results. 41 contestants vote to continue. Only one chooses to leave. This means the game will go on. The guard tells everyone to rest as the next game begins tomorrow. Later, one of the greedy contestants approaches Gi-hun. He accuses him of intentionally getting his allies killed to increase the prize money. He even accuses him of being a spy for the game's owners. The others mock Gi-hun, thanking him sarcastically, because thanks to him, the prize is larger, and many players who wanted to quit are now dead. That gives them majority power. Gi-hun hears all this but stays silent. He's too shocked and heartbroken to even respond. Then, the self-proclaimed fortune teller comes to him. She pretends she had seen all this coming. "I warned you," she says. "The spirits around you told me. You're the reason your friends died. They haven't forgiven you. You'll hear their screams in your sleep." Gi-hun loses control. He storms toward her in rage, eyes filled with fury, and tries to choke her, intent on killing her. But the other contestants manage to pull him off just in time. Meanwhile, the organ harvesting guards prepare to operate on the painter. Just then, Se-byok bursts into the room. They panic at first, but one guard calms them. "She's with us now," he says, removing his mask. "We're all in the same boat. We need to trust each other if we want to survive this." Se-byok removes her own mask as well, revealing that she's actually a young girl with a strikingly beautiful face. They're shocked. The lead guard invites her to come closer and learn how the operation is done, but suddenly she pulls out a gun and threatens them all. "Step away from him or I'll take you all down." Everyone is stunned. One guard foolishly tries to attack her, thinking she's just a girl, but she quickly proves them wrong. She slides across the floor, shoots one with a pistol, takes him out, and in less than a second, drops another. She then walks over to the guard who had mocked her earlier. Eyes burning with anger, she says, "I ran away from the army because my commander was just like you." Then she shoots him straight in the forehead, killing him instantly. Now the only one left alive is the doctor, trembling in fear. He begs her not to kill him, explaining that they forced him to participate. She tells him to save the painter's life and threatens, "If anything happens to him, you're next." Back at the main hall, it's mealtime. The guards begin handing out food. We see the bully, the one who used to mimic Xanos. Yes, dear viewer, if you forgot, this is the guy. He's back at it again, pretending to be the tough guy, acting as if he inherited Xanos' spirit along with his chain. Meanwhile, the pregnant woman walks up for her food, but her ex-lover stops her and offers her his portion. She's surprised by the gesture, but knows deep down he's using her. Gi-hun remains sitting on the floor, silent and broken. He draws sympathy from the other players. The old woman comes to him. She gently offers part of her food and water, trying to comfort him. "You need to eat if you're going to survive," she says. But he refuses, still silent, still in shock. The Special Forces girl also approaches him, apologizing. She tried to bring him more ammo, but failed. The old woman's son steps in and reassures her, "You did your part." The coward who was supposed to deliver the bullets ran off. Gi-hun hears the other contestants talking about him, but he remains silent, lost in thought. He watches the cowardly contestant eat and feels bitter. That same coward is the reason his teammates died, and the guilt weighs heavily on Gi-hun. Meanwhile, Detective Hwang is reviewing the map and marking the islands he's already searched. There are only a few left to check. Suddenly, the leader's assistant walks in and asks to speak with him privately. He questions Hwang about his relationship with the ship's captain and how they met. Hwang explains that he was injured, passed out, and fell into the sea, and it was the captain who found and saved him. But the assistant doesn't trust him. He reveals that he heard shouting on the ship the previous night, and when he came out, he saw the captain holding a screwdriver. He suspects that Hwang is a spy and may have been responsible for their colleague's death. Hwang is shocked by the accusation but refuses to believe it. He insists that he trusts the captain because he saved his life. The assistant apologizes and tells Hwang to forget about it and get some rest. Hwang, with no choice, agrees and lets it go for now. Back on the island, Gi-hun stays awake all night. As the sun rises, the guards wake the contestants. The cowardly young man opens his eyes and is startled to see Gi-hun staring directly at him. He feels embarrassed and afraid to face him. It's time for the fourth game. The players head to the game area, but what they see leaves them horrified. Several of their former teammates' bodies are hanging, displayed as a warning to anyone thinking of rebelling. The coward begins to feel guilty. He knows he caused their deaths. Gi-hun continues to glare at him, silently promising vengeance. The players are brought to the next game location. The guards explain that they will be split into 2 teams and each player must choose a ball, either red or blue. Everyone picks their color. Sadly, the old woman and her son end up on different teams. The pregnant woman and her lover are also separated, and once again, Gi-hun is the last to pick and receives the red ball. Meanwhile, the doctor successfully treats the painter's injuries, but tells Se-byok that his condition is still dangerous. He urgently needs a blood transfusion. Luckily, Se-byok has a rare blood type that can be donated to anyone. She tells him to take her blood, but warns him sternly, "If you even think of doing anything shady, you'll lose your head." Back to the contestants, the guards explain the rules of the new game, a deadly game of hide and seek. The blue team must hide, while the red team has 30 minutes to find and kill them. Each red team player must kill at least 1 blue team member to survive. The players are shocked. This means half of them will die. The guards give the blue team keys, explaining they can use them to open hiding rooms, but once a door is opened, it won't close again. There's no going back. At the same time, the red team is given knives and weapons. Both teams are terrified. The red team is being forced to kill their fellow players, while the blue team can only run and hide. Before the game begins, the guards offer one final chance. Anyone who wants to switch roles may do so. The cowardly contestant is especially afraid. Gi-hun is on the red team and holding a knife. He thinks Gi-hun will kill him first. Meanwhile, back at sea, Detective Hwang begins a new search mission. He boards a boat with his team, joined by a new assistant. The captain pretends to be kind and tells Hwang to wear a life vest. A good-hearted captain, you might think, dear viewer. But then, Hwang receives a call from the very assistant who distrusted him earlier. You might ask, about who? Well, dear viewer, it's about the captain, the treacherous pig. The assistant tells him, "I'm not coming with you. I'll investigate behind you. Be careful. Something's not right about that man. I've never been wrong about a feeling like this." Hwang then meets with a gang member who tells him their boss died because of the Squid Game and shares everything he knows. Back on the island, players unhappy with their team assignments begin looking for others to switch with. The bully confronts the timid young man and mocks him, calling him a coward who won't be able to kill anyone. He tries to provoke him, "Find some courage, or I'll be the one to take you out." The pregnant woman ends up on the red team. Her ex-lover comes begging, "Please switch with me. You can't hurt anyone, and one of us should survive. I swear, if you switch, I'll protect you and our baby. I'll kill everyone if I have to." But she sees through his act. She refuses, telling him she's willing to do anything to protect her child. Elsewhere, the old woman's son tries to convince her to switch roles and give him the knife. "You're too kind. You'd never hurt anyone. I'll fight for you. Just give me the knife." She refuses and offers to switch with someone else so they can be on the same team, but he warns her, "The other players will see you as weak. You're old. They'll kill you without hesitation." Eventually, she gives him the knife so he can defend her. At the same time, the disgusting pig-like contestant tries to switch with Gi-hun, but Gi-hun glares at him with pure rage in his eyes. The piggish player, terrified by his stare, backs off and runs away. On the other side, the cowardly contestant tries to switch roles with a girl. He promises to protect her, saying he'll do anything to make sure she survives. "Just switch with me, that's all I ask," he pleads. But she's clearly nervous and scared. He grows frustrated and yells at her, "Hurry up already!" When she refuses and he loses hope, he storms off. As he walks away, he glances over and sees Gi-hun still staring at him. Enraged, he marches over to him and snaps, "This isn't my fault. It's yours. You made a stupid plan and they all died because of you." A guard intervenes and separates them. The game is about to begin. He instructs the blue team to prepare and hide. The contestants are ushered into the game zone, a maze-like structure. They're given 2 minutes to hide before the red team begins the hunt. Just before heading off, the old woman decides to switch roles with her son, telling him to hide with the others while she looks after herself. She reassures him, saying she has a secret weapon, her hairpin. Meanwhile, the pregnant woman believes her boyfriend's sweet talk and hands him her knife. She agrees to switch with him in exchange for his protection. The blue team begins searching for hiding spots. One contestant suggests they search for an exit instead of hiding, and the others agree. They split up in all directions, each carrying a chain with a unique key to open a door. The pregnant woman starts to feel weak and can't walk any farther. The old woman approaches her with concern. The Special Forces girl sees them and decides to help, telling them to stay with her so she can protect them. Elsewhere in the maze, the bully approaches the pregnant woman's boyfriend and proposes an alliance. "If we each take out 2 people, the game will end, and if we kill more, we'll earn even more money." Tempted, the boyfriend agrees. The countdown ends. The guards send in the red team, including Gi-hun, who enters with fire in his eyes, determined to find and punish the coward who betrayed them. Back at the surgical room, the painter wakes up and the doctor is relieved to see he's alive, but Se-byok plans to eliminate him in case he betrays them. She puts on a mask to hide her identity and tells him to do as she says if he wants to live. She points to a dead guard's mask and instructs him to wear it and pretend he's one of them so he can escape. Inside the maze, the red team spreads out to search for the blue team. Gi-hun looks only for one person, the coward. The old woman's son searches frantically for his mother. Meanwhile, the bully pops a pill to sharpen his focus and offers one to his partner, but the boyfriend refuses. He wants to stay alert and fulfill his promise to protect the pregnant woman. The maze turns out to be complex, with multiple floors and countless doors. One red team member finds a blue team player and rushes in to kill him. Gi-hun continues his search, ignoring everything else, fixated on revenge. The coward sees him and hides in terror. Elsewhere, the fake fortune teller plays her usual game, walking confidently while claiming she hears the voices of spirits guiding her. A group of gullible contestants follows her, believing she has some special power. One of the greedy contestants tries to open a door with his key but fails. He realizes each door is marked with a different shape, triangle, square, and circle, and that 3 keys of different shapes are needed to open any door. Suddenly, a blue team player appears. He tries his key, and the door opens. They both slip inside and hide. The strong girl also finds a door and tries her key, but it doesn't work. She notices the shape system too and decides to borrow the pregnant woman's key. Together, they successfully open the door and hide inside. Realizing they now have a complete set of shapes, the girl becomes the team's de facto leader. The old woman and pregnant girl trust her and hand her their keys. Back in the maze, Gi-hun finally finds the coward and chases after him. The coward runs, desperate, and stumbles upon a door. He opens it with his key, only to discover it's a trap, a fake door leading to a steep drop. Frozen in fear, he closes his eyes, thinking it's the end. Gi-hun catches up and stares into his face, but then realizes it's not him. It's another contestant who just happens to look like the coward. Same hairstyle, same build. Gi-hun lets him go. Elsewhere, the old woman's son hears a scream and panics, thinking it's his mother, but the guards announce the ID number of the contestant who died, and it's not hers. Relieved, he keeps searching and runs into another red team player. They decide to work together to survive. The old woman sees her son but doesn't call out. She's afraid he'll get hurt because of her. The bully and his partner are still hunting. They corner a contestant in a room and attack him with knives, but he fights back fiercely. His survival instinct kicks in. He pushes them off and knocks the bully to the ground. He grabs the knife and gets ready to finish him. The pregnant woman's boyfriend is forced to jump in and save his partner. He attacks the contestant from behind, managing to stab him, though not fatally. The bully takes advantage of the distraction and lands a blow to the contestant's legs. He laughs cruelly and moves in for the kill, but his partner stops him. "If you finish him now, you'll win and leave the game," he warns. "You might leave me behind." They agree to kill him together. "Half a kill for you, half for me." If we kill another one after that, we'll each have one full kill, the partner explains. What is this? Are you two here just to mess with me? The contestant cries. They close in and stab him at the same time. They take the key he was carrying to open doors, but in the process, the bully drops the chain with his pills, which the cowardly contestant finds, and takes one. Meanwhile, one of the red team members spots the old woman and her group. He chases after them as they try to escape, but the pregnant woman trips on the stairs and injures her leg. Despite the danger, the others refuse to abandon her. The strong girl shields her with her own body, standing between her and the attacker. The red team member offers a deal. Just hand over the pregnant one, or the old lady. Either is fine. I don't want to fight you. Just move along. But the girl refuses. Even without a weapon, she assumes a combat stance. Trained in martial arts, she skillfully dodges his attacks, traps him against the wall, and beats him so badly she fractures his facial bones. He drops to the ground. As she reaches for his knife, she unintentionally finishes him off. She checks on the pregnant woman and discovers her leg is broken. She and the old woman help her up and support her. Elsewhere, the greedy contestant and his partner enter a room, but a red team member, a woman, is already inside, waiting for them. In a panic, the greedy man shoves his partner into the room, locking the door behind him, sacrificing him so the red team member can kill him. Once she does, he takes the dead man's key and moves on. Meanwhile, the bully and his new partner continue hunting contestants. They're swinging their weapons with glee, killing multiple players for fun, and the promise of a larger reward. The guards announce their success, and the pregnant woman hears her boyfriend's name over the speaker. She smiles, relieved that he won, and now waits for him to fulfill his promise to protect her. He starts opening doors and searching for her, but the bully taunts him. If you find her, you'll just get her killed. Furious, the boyfriend fights back, threatening him. If you lay a finger on her, I'll make you regret it. That baby in her belly is my child. I'll protect her no matter what. Suddenly, they hear a woman scream, and the boyfriend rushes toward the sound. But it's not her. He sighs in relief. The bully then proposes a new idea. Let's keep killing the others. If there's no one left for the red team to hunt, they'll lose. That means the prize money increases, and we'll have a better chance of winning. The boyfriend, after a pause, agrees. Meanwhile, the cowardly contestant is limping through the maze, still bleeding. A red team member spots him and manages to injure his leg, but the coward retaliates, pushing him off a staircase. The man falls, hitting his head and losing consciousness. The coward takes his knife for protection, enduring the pain as best he can. Back with the pregnant woman's group, they hide in a room, her injury too severe to continue. She begs them to leave her behind to avoid risking their lives, but the old woman refuses, staying by her side. She urges the strong girl to go on without them and look for the exit, saying they've become a burden. With less than 15 minutes left in the game, the strong girl is torn. Suddenly, the pregnant woman begins to go into labor. The old woman, with some experience, stays beside her, helping through the painful process. At the same time, her son is searching for her. He notices blood trails leading to a door and opens it, only to find a contestant hiding there. The contestant begs for mercy, reminding him they once hid together in the previous season. Feeling pity, he lets him live, but is immediately betrayed. The man attacks him, takes his knife, and prepares to strike. But a red team member suddenly appears and stabs the attacker from behind, saving him. The old woman continues helping the pregnant woman give birth. To muffle her screams, she stuffs cloth in her mouth, terrified someone might hear. Elsewhere in the maze, the fake fortune teller is wandering in circles, suspiciously ending up where she started. The contestants following her begin to doubt her, but she plays her usual act, pretending to speak to kind spirits. She walks to a door and confidently says it's the exit, but when she opens it and sees what's inside, she panics and runs away, leaving them behind. Suddenly, a large group of red team members bursts out, led by the bully and the pregnant woman's boyfriend, who slaughter the gullible contestants who had followed the fortune teller. The fortune teller escapes, only to collide with the cowardly contestant. She notices he's bleeding and refuses to go with him, fearing the blood trail will reveal his location. She enters another room, only to run directly into Gi-hun. Trying to save herself, she bluffs. If you come closer, I'll curse you. I'll turn you into a frog. I swear I have powers. But Gi-hun sees through her lies. She quickly drops the act. Okay, I'm a fraud. I admit it. But listen, I know you want to get rid of the coward. He betrayed you. He didn't bring the ammo. He was just outside a moment ago. His leg is bleeding. Just follow the trail of blood. It'll lead you right to him. Gi-hun leaves her and follows the blood trail, more determined than ever to find him and end it this time. The fortune teller, relieved, starts to sneak away, but bumps into the coward again. He asks her where the pregnant woman is. Terrified, she thinks he's here to kill her and runs into another room. There, she discovers the exit. Overwhelmed with joy, she rushes to open it, but realizes it needs 3 keys: a triangle, a circle, and a square. This meant that she would need help from 2 people to escape, so she set out to either find them or search for the keys. Along the way, she came across a dead contestant and went to take the key from him. But when she found he only had a look-alike key, she felt discouraged. To keep track of the exit, she decided to draw a blood mark on the wall so she wouldn't get lost in the maze and could return to that spot. Meanwhile, the greedy contestant tried to escape but ran into the bully and his partner. Terrified, he didn't know what to do and ended up at a dead end. He lay down on the ground, smeared blood on his face to fake his death, and held his breath, hoping no one would notice him. The bully got close and was about to stab him with a knife to make sure he was dead, but his partner called him away just in time. After they left, the fortune teller approached the dead contestant to take the key. He suddenly opened his eyes, and she was shocked to see he was still alive. She told him she had found the way out, and he decided to go with her. When he asked if she was sure of the path, she tricked him, saying confidently, "Of course. I know the way. The kind spirits are guiding me. Look down, dear viewer. The arrow points this way." At the same time, the old woman successfully delivered the baby for the pregnant girl. She was overjoyed and told her she had given birth to a beautiful baby girl. She comforted and hugged the new mother, promising to protect them both. But suddenly, a member of the red team burst into the room, trying to kill them. The strong girl quickly intervened, dragging him out of the room and fighting him. Although he managed to wound her in several places, she refused to give up, enduring the pain, fighting back fiercely, and eventually disarming and killing him. Another red team member witnessed this, but was too afraid to challenge her. He ran away, knowing he couldn't win against someone so strong. By chance, the room she was in turned out to be the exit. She tried the 3 keys she had, and the door opened. She was overjoyed, barely believing it, but she couldn't bring herself to leave alone. She returned for the old woman and the mother, urging them to come with her. Just then, the pregnant girl's lover appeared from behind and, tragically, stabbed the strong girl multiple times in the back, killing her. He had no idea she was the one who saved his lover and had been sacrificing her life for them. He was stunned when he saw the baby and realized he had become a father. Fearing the bully might harm them, he shut the door to keep them safe and left, thinking no one else remained. The old woman was heartbroken over the strong girl's death. She hugged her and thanked her for everything she had done, then gently closed her eyes and said goodbye while crying uncontrollably. She took the keys to escape and told the young mother they needed to flee immediately. The location had already been discovered, and the baby's cries would only make it more dangerous. They set off again, hoping to follow the blood trail left by the injured strong girl, which might lead them to the exit. Meanwhile, the fortune teller reached the door and managed to open it. Thinking she was finally safe, she was caught off guard when the greedy contestant betrayed her, shoved her aside, grabbed the key, and locked the door behind him. She collapsed, pounding on the door, shouting that the spirits would punish him. Her cries were overheard by the cowardly contestant, who found her again. He was hallucinating from the pill he had taken and mistook her for the bully who had always mocked him. In a fit of rage, he punched her in the stomach and kept beating her until she died. Once he realized what he had done, he broke down in tears. At the same time, Gi-hun found the traitorous contestant and followed him into a room, intending to kill him. The traitor began crying and begging for forgiveness, confessing that he had lied about everything, even his military background. He admitted he had never been in the Navy and had made everything up to be accepted and survive. He begged for forgiveness. Gi-hun hesitated, feeling pity, and almost let him go, but the contestant suddenly lunged at him, stabbed him with the knife he'd been hiding, and blamed him for everything that had happened. Gi-hun managed to fight back, knocking the knife away. The traitor tried to flee but was pushed down the stairs. Gi-hun chased him into a fake room, cornered him, and after a brutal fight, pinned him down and choked him to death. Back in another room, the old woman reached the exit only for her son to suddenly appear. He wanted to kill the girl with her to win the game. His mother stopped him, saying the girl had just given birth and the baby needed her. She offered her own life instead, begging him to kill her so he could win, move on, and live. Both broke down in tears, but he refused, pushing her aside and rushing toward the girl. Just before he could kill her, he heard the baby cry. He was overwhelmed and apologized, realizing he couldn't go through with it. Suddenly, his mother appeared behind him and used the secret weapon she had once spoken of. He was shocked. She told him to escape quickly, but she chose to stay behind with him. The half-hour time limit ended. Any contestant who had been running away would survive, but anyone who had tried to kill and failed would die. The old woman's son was among those captured. The guards entered and took him away. They began placing the bodies of the dead contestants in coffins. One red team member, who had been hiding, tried to attack a guard to steal his weapon. He hadn't managed to kill any of the contestants in blue, but another guard came from behind and killed him. When the guards removed their masks, it was revealed they were foreigners, the rich owners of the game. These were the elite guests who had come to participate in the hunt themselves, seeking more thrill by killing the losers directly. The surviving contestants returned to their quarters. The bully noticed his chain was missing and asked his partner about it, but the partner stayed silent, worried about his girlfriend and waiting for her safe return. The bully grew agitated, wanting to go back and search for the chain, but the guards stopped him, threatening to kill him if he left again. Left with no choice, the bully gave up, unaware that the pills he so desperately needed were now with the cowardly contestant, the same one he always mocked as weak. Just then, the girl returned with the baby in her arms. Her boyfriend was overjoyed to see her alive and well. The guards entered, congratulating the surviving contestants. They announced that 25 players had made it through and were still alive. Then they revealed the prize money, $42 billion. The remaining players were asked to decide would they continue the game or walk away. At that moment, we see the game's organizers gathered together. They're wearing animal masks to represent their true identities. They're all visibly pleased, enjoying the game more than they have in a long time, especially now that they've participated in it directly. They breathe deeply, exchanging stories about what each of them did, while speaking about the contestants as if they were worthless animals. Meanwhile, Hwang and his team are still searching for the island. He decides to deploy a drone, remotely controlling it to scan the sea from above. Suddenly, he receives a call from his assistant, who tells him he was right. The assistant had questioned the local fishermen, and none of them knew anything about the captain. Hwang is surprised and starts to suspect that the captain might be a spy. He decides to keep a close eye on him to find out the truth. Back on the island, the remaining contestants begin the vote. Each person chooses whether to continue the game or withdraw. The old woman is the first to vote. She says she doesn't want to continue. She doesn't want anyone else to die the way her son did. Tearfully, she pleads with the others to stop the game, telling them they can take her share of the money. It means nothing to her if more lives are lost. "I'm not afraid for myself," she says. "I've lived enough. But that child and her mother, they deserve a future." Unfortunately, no one listens. Driven by greed, they all vote to continue the game, hoping to increase the prize money. When Gi-hun's turn comes, he doesn't vote, just like before. But this time, his non-vote holds no power. The guards announce that the game will go on and instruct everyone to get some rest. Meanwhile, the rich spectators laugh at the old woman's plea. They see no value in her words. Elsewhere, the guards discover the scene in the operations room and realize some guards have been killed. They assume the doctor is behind it, especially since his body is missing. They believe he harvested organs and escaped. Back in the dorm, the old woman brings food to the mother and baby, urging them to eat well so the mother can nurse and care for her child. The mother cries, apologizing for the death of the old woman's son. But the old woman comforts her, telling her it wasn't her fault and that she should focus on nothing but her baby now. That night, the game master returns to his private room, only to find Seong waiting for him, holding a gun. She demands that he allow her and the artist to leave the game safely. She threatens to expose everything, warning him that if he doesn't let them go, the wealthy VIPs will turn against him. Impressed by her intelligence, he reluctantly agrees. Meanwhile, Hwang spots an island that seems strangely familiar. He tells the captain to steer the ship closer. When they arrive, he realizes it's the same place where his brother had once attacked him. He confirms that this is the game island and notifies his team. They agree to begin a full search at dawn. Later that night, the old woman checks in on the baby, then sits with Gi-hun. She tries to comfort him, encouraging him to forgive himself. "You're not to blame," she says. "The ones responsible are the people behind the game. My son was once kind, but they turned him into a monster. I had to end it." Gi-hun is moved by her words and feels her pain. She asks him to take care of the mother and her child. "I trust you," she says. "I believe you're here to save us all." Her words touch him deeply, but he admits that even he has turned into one of the monsters. He killed a contestant, and now he feels like a criminal. The next morning, the guards wake the contestants early to prepare for the next game. Seon eats breakfast and discovers a boat key hidden in her food, the game master's secret gift to help her escape. The guards then enter the dorms, bringing a coffin with them. Everyone wonders who has died. To their shock, it's the old woman. The mother breaks down in tears, blaming herself and her son for the woman's death. Gi-hun is overwhelmed with guilt. He had refused to help her when she needed it. Meanwhile, the assistant sneaks into the captain's house, searching for answers. Inside, he finds a photo of the captain with the man who distributes the game invitation cards. He's stunned. It confirms the captain is a spy. He quickly tries to warn Hwang, but is suddenly attacked by a vicious guard dog. The dog bites his hand, forcing him to fight back and kill it. As he escapes, the police arrive, alerted by a neighbor who reported a break-in, and they arrest him. Back in the game, the guards tell the contestants to prepare for the 5th round. The mother is exhausted and unsure how she'll manage. Gi-hun decides to honor the old woman's final wish and goes to help her. He takes the baby in his arms to protect her. The rich spectators watch eagerly, placing bets on which contestants will survive. They're excited for the next game. The mother continues crying, terrified for her child. Gi-hun reassures her, saying he also has a daughter, and promises to protect the baby, even if it costs him his life. They're led to the next game arena. In front of them stands a high platform with a long bridge stretching across it. On either side are massive statues. The guards explain that the game is jump rope. The statues begin swinging a large rope back and forth at high speed. The contestants must keep jumping over the rope while moving forward and passing through a middle obstacle to reach the other side. Gi-hun volunteers to help the mother. He tells her to leave the baby with him while she plays and that they'll return to her afterward. But the guard refuses, stating the baby is also a contestant. If she stays behind, she'll automatically lose. Gi-hun is furious, insisting the baby is innocent, but the guard threatens to kill them all if they don't take her along. And with that, the countdown for the game begins. The mother, exhausted and injured, asks Gi-hun to take the baby with him, explaining that she's hurt and won't be able to jump. Meanwhile, we see the bully in a state of panic, crying because he can't survive without the pills he used to take regularly. He approaches the timid young man, shows him a necklace, and reveals that he's had the pills all along. He threatens to throw them off the bridge. The bully, terrified, begs him not to do it and apologizes desperately. But the young man tosses the pills onto the rope bridge and demands that the bully go first. Left with no choice, the bully starts jumping. He keeps going until he finally reaches the necklace, happy that he made it. But when he opens the capsule, he finds it empty. He's stunned. Time seems to freeze for him, and he can't keep moving. The rope slams into him, and he's thrown violently off the bridge. Gi-hun steps forward carrying the baby. He promises the mother that he'll get her daughter to the other side, then come back to help her. He steps onto the bridge and begins jumping. It's difficult, but he pushes through for the baby's sake. He continues until he reaches the middle, where there's a gap in the bridge that he must leap over. Everyone is tense, holding their breath, unsure if he can do it while holding a child. And miraculously, he makes it. He keeps going until he reaches the end. Everyone is amazed by his strength and skill. It inspires them. If he could do it while carrying a baby, they believe they can do it too. Gi-hun gently places the child down and prepares to return for the mother, but more contestants begin filling the bridge. He realizes he won't be able to cross back until they've cleared the way, so he waits. One of the players makes it across and pretends to help the others, but turns out to be a traitor. Anyone who gets too close, he pushes off the bridge to eliminate them and secure the prize for himself. He tells Gi-hun, "If everyone dies, only you and I will remain. Then we can choose to quit and split the money evenly. We'll be rich." He laughs maniacally and keeps pushing others off. The contestants are paralyzed with fear, frozen in place. No one knows what to do. They've been stuck on the bridge too long, and one by one, players begin to fall. One tries to go back but bumps into the person behind him. Both of them fall. A girl manages to retreat, but she's terrified and doesn't know what to do. A contestant shoves her too, sending her to her death. Now, anyone who tries to move forward or backward is at risk. Gi-hun is forced to intervene. He warns the traitor to let the others pass or face consequences. The traitor, frightened, complies. Slowly, the rest of the contestants begin making their way across before the timer runs out. The baby's mother prepares to go. She's the last one left. She practices jumping, but due to her injured legs, she stumbles and falls. Her boyfriend rushes to help her, but she refuses. She blames him for killing the strong girl, the very one who saved her life. She shows him her injured legs and asks if he's willing to carry her. He's stunned. He can't do it. Tears fill his eyes, and he chooses to abandon her. He walks away. Gi-hun tries to return to help her, but a contestant attacks him, trying to throw him off the bridge. But Gi-hun fights back fiercely. He's handsome, but not always graceful in battle. Still, he manages to land a solid blow and throws the attacker off the bridge. He then tells the remaining players to cross, and they do. The timid young man in a daze begins hallucinating. He imagines the statues are talking to him, but he refocuses, regains his strength, and manages to cross successfully. Now it's the girl's boyfriend's turn. Another contestant falls in front of him and asks for help, but he cruelly refuses. He steps on the man's hand and keeps jumping until he reaches the other side. Less than a minute remains. Gi-hun tries once more to go back for the mother, but she stops him. She pleads with him not to return. If he does, they'll both die. She tells him she doesn't want anyone else to die because of her. She begs him to take care of her daughter and protect her. Tears running down her face, she walks slowly to the edge of the bridge, stands at the edge, and jumps. Her time ends, along with the game. Gi-hun is left stunned and heartbroken by what just happened. He feels helpless. The rich spectators are thrilled by the drama, but now they want the baby removed. Her mother is dead after all, but the game master suggests they let the baby continue in her mother's place. It will add more excitement to the game. The VIPs agree. A guard arrives to congratulate the remaining contestants and informs them that 9 players are still alive. The contestants are confused. They count only 8. Then the guard points to the baby and tells them she is officially a contestant now, taking her mother's place. The players are outraged. That means she'll share the prize money. Some of them want to eliminate her, but Gi-hun steps in, hugging the baby tightly to protect her. The guard pulls out a gun and warns everyone. From this point on, violence is forbidden. Anyone who causes trouble will be punished. Meanwhile, the assistant is at the police station, explaining everything about the game and the criminal organization behind it. He tells the officer that the captain is involved and shows him the captain's uniform. But the officer doesn't believe him. He thinks the assistant is just a thief. He decides to call the captain to report the break-in. In a panic, the assistant snatches the phone out of his hand. He calls Hwang to warn him, telling him that the captain is actually one of the game's guards. He urges him to be careful, warning that the captain plans to eliminate them all. Hwang is shocked by what he hears and decides to arrest the captain, but the captain is quicker. He grabs the weapon, kills one of the guards on the ship, and spares only one. Approaching the surviving guard, the captain demands to know where Hwang is. The guard responds, "He's right behind you." At that moment, Hwang appears and punches him, then kills him. He asks, "Who are you? What are you doing? Where's the island?" He tells the captain to confess everything before he dies. The captain reveals that he was only following orders. He says the game master told him to save his life at any cost. He warns Hwang that even if he reaches the island, it won't matter. His team is gone, the guards are dead, and he'll be all alone. Before he can say where the island is, he dies. Hwang is left shocked and full of regret for not believing the assistant from the start. Meanwhile, the game master invites the remaining contestants to dinner. They're all given formal suits to wear and served a luxurious meal. Even the baby is fed milk by a guard. After all, she's made it to the final game. As they eat and drink, the guard explains that before they choose to continue or quit the game, they must know one thing about the next round. There will be 3 of them, and they will decide among themselves who gets eliminated. Greed takes over. The 3 plot to eliminate Gi-hun, the baby, and the quiet, dazed young man who seems completely lost and confused. The players decide to continue the game. The guard announces it will resume. Meanwhile, Seong sneaks off with the artist, boarding a small boat to escape the island, but the game master calls her and threatens her, reminding her that they know everything, even about the artist's daughter in the hospital. She panics and decides to return, telling the artist to go without her and save his daughter. He still doesn't know who she really is. Unfortunately, the game master had a tracker on the boat. He orders the guards to eliminate the artist. Back with the contestants, those who chose to continue begin plotting how to get rid of Gi-hun and the baby. Gi-hun stays awake through the night to protect her. Suddenly, a guard enters and tells Gi-hun that the game master wants to speak with him. He's brought before the game master, who tells him he wants to help. He gives Gi-hun a knife and urges him to kill the others while they sleep, before they get the chance to kill him. Gi-hun is confused and demands to know why he would suggest such a thing. The game master removes his mask, and Gi-hun is stunned. It's player 001, the old man he thought was dead. Gi-hun grabs the knife, furious, ready to attack. His entire face changes. But the game master tries to calm him. He says even if Gi-hun kills him, the game won't stop. Someone else will take his place. He urges Gi-hun to accept reality and do what he must to survive. Gi-hun leaves in silence. He walks back to the sleeping contestants, holding the knife. As he approaches, we see a flashback of the same moment. The game master, once a contestant, faced a similar choice. Back then, an old man had given him the same offer. Now, Gi-hun stands at the same crossroads. The game master watches, wondering what Gi-hun will choose. Will he follow the same path? Gi-hun remembers the friends he lost, their voices telling him not to become a killer. Overwhelmed with emotion, he begins to cry and drops the knife. The game master looks at him, ashamed, not of Gi-hun, but of himself, for turning into a monster and failing to make the same choice. Meanwhile, Seong climbs the mountain and reaches the island's ventilation shaft. She enters and sneaks through the tunnels, clearly planning something big. On the other side, Hwang gets closer to the island. Suddenly, he hears the game master's voice over the radio, warning him to stop. He's risking his life. Back in the control room, Seong ambushes the game master, holding him at gunpoint. She demands that he delete the artist's records from the game, wanting to protect him from the rich VIPs. He agrees, but tells her there's another copy, physical documents stored in a secret location. She follows him to retrieve them. But as they enter the elevator, he suddenly attacks her. They struggle. She fights back, but he's stronger and blocks every strike. He throws her to the ground, smashing her face. As he approaches to kill her, she manages to fight back. She lunges, trying to stab him, but he grabs a glass to block her. He overpowers her again and walks away to have a drink. He says softly, "I understand how you feel. I lost someone I loved too." Then he stabs her in the stomach. Just then, the guard calls him over the radio, saying it's time to begin the final game. He says, "Start it," and glances at Seong crawling on the floor. He laughs at her for being too weak to even open the elevator. But surprise, she has his mask. She jumps up, gets to the elevator first, grabs the gun, and shoots him. Because he underestimated her, he pays the price. Meanwhile, the remaining contestants are gathered with the guards to begin the final game. They ride an old elevator surrounded by high stone walls and steep cliffs. They're being taken to the top of one of the island's towering mountains. They inform the players that the final game is called Heavenly Squid. It consists of 3 stages, each taking place in a different area. The first round happens on a square platform. In this stage, the players must push one of their own off the platform to proceed to the next phase. Of course, whoever falls will lose and die. The game begins, and they're given 15 minutes. To start, they must press a button that appears on the ground. Unfortunately, the group immediately agrees to push Gi-hun, since he's carrying the baby. They approach him laughing, but then hesitate. If they push him, they'll also eliminate the baby. That would mean losing 2 people, and their alliance would have to sacrifice one of their own. So instead, they decide to push the dazed, helpless young man who's barely aware of what's happening. But none of them dare approach him. He might grab one of them as he falls, and they'd both die. That's when the baby's father uses his wits. He notices a pole nearby, pulls it out of its socket, and uses it to push the young man off the platform without risking himself. The young man, in his final moments, imagines all his fallen friends waiting for him in the game's lobby. And just like that, round 1 ends. The rest move on to the second stage. Now on a triangular platform, the group agrees the baby must be sacrificed. She has no one left. They tell Gi-hun to hand her over and close his eyes. Her mother is dead, and no one knows who her father is. Of course, dear viewer, we know the truth, but he's been hiding his identity. Gi-hun refuses. He hugs the baby tightly and protects her. Meanwhile, out at sea, the guards begin chasing the artist on the boat. He tries to defend himself but runs out of bullets. Just when he thinks it's over, Hwang arrives in time, takes down the guards, saves the artist's life, and finally discovers the island's location. Back on the platform, one of the contestants tries to snatch the baby by force. Gi-hun wounds him with the knife he got from the game master and threatens to kill anyone who comes near. Suddenly, the baby's father steps in and pushes another contestant off the platform, betraying his alliance and revealing his true loyalty. It's a shock to everyone. They had no idea he was the baby's father. He joins Gi-hun and vows to protect her. The remaining players, now terrified and armed, rush to attack them. A fierce fight breaks out. Gi-hun defends the child, injuring one attacker while the baby's father throws another off the edge. 2 players remain. One of them tries to trick the others by pretending to negotiate. He offers to split the prize money and use a fallen contestant as a scapegoat. But the baby's father sees through the lie and throws him off too. Time runs out, the second stage ends, and the final 3, Gi-hun, the baby, and her father, advance to the final round. The last contestant left from the previous alliance realizes he's been outplayed. He mocks the others, telling them not to come near him, then walks away. Only Gi-hun, the baby, and her father remain. That means, in the final round, one of them must die. Meanwhile, Hwang saves the artist and treats his wounds. The artist reveals he was a contestant and shares everything he knows. Hwang now rushes to the island to stop the final game, but he's too late. The third stage has begun. The baby is sent across the bridge first. Gi-hun follows, but her father suddenly grabs a pole, blocks Gi-hun's path, and demands he hand over the baby. He plans to eliminate both of them. Only one of the 3 can survive, and the most important thing is to activate the button. Viewer, pay attention. The countdown starts, and whoever makes a move now could secure victory. Hwang realizes the baby's father plans to sacrifice her and keep the money for himself. He won't let Gi-hun pass. He orders him to leave the baby behind and step back. Gi-hun pretends to obey, walking away, but grabs his knife, drops the baby on the bridge gently, and jumps across just before the bridge begins collapsing. Acrobatic like a gymnast, Gi-hun makes it to the other side. He grabs the knife, and a brutal fight begins. The young man tries to stab Gi-hun, but Gi-hun is stronger. He dodges the blows, disarms him, and smashes his face. The young man realizes he's losing, so he grabs the baby and threatens to kill her if Gi-hun comes closer. Gi-hun slowly steps back, tosses away the knife, and tells him, "Let's talk." But he's ready. He removes his jacket to use as a shield and lunges forward. They both stumble. One of them falls. Viewer, it's the villain. Gi-hun is left hanging from a rock ledge. He holds on with one hand and tries to save the man, but his grip slips, and down he falls. The audience of rich spectators watches in awe. They're amazed by Gi-hun's resilience and determination. Back on the island, Hwang arrives, too late. We learn that Seong burned all the contestant files. She realized this place was a graveyard, filled with the bodies of countless victims. She wanted to erase their past so they could rest in peace. Devastated, she considers ending her own life. But then she sees Gi-hun on the monitor carrying the baby. She thinks he's about to sacrifice her for the prize. Viewer, don't be alarmed. He never pressed the activation button. The final round was never actually triggered. He holds the baby, hugs her tightly, and says goodbye. He's smiling, proud to have fulfilled her mother's dying wish. He turns toward the spectators, even though he can't see them, and speaks. "We're not your entertainment, we're human beings just like you." And then, the lights fade. The crowd is stunned. For the first time, someone reached the final stage and gave it all up. The game finally ends, and the guards are informed that the police are getting close to discovering the island. In a panic, they decide to destroy everything and escape, but the game master is still there. He stays behind to collect the child who won. The little girl who was born in chaos survived the madness and somehow became the victor, even though she didn't understand anything about what was going on. At the same time, Hwang manages to reach the island. He finds his brother and sees him through a glass window. He breaks it, trying to stop him, but it's too late. He can't do anything. Realizing the island is no longer safe, he decides to flee as well. The guards board the boats and cars and escape the island, activating the self-destruct system. The entire place is obliterated. 6 months pass. We learn that Seon chose to keep living after seeing Gi-hun sacrifice himself. She returns to the amusement park where she used to work and runs into the artist. She asks him to draw her portrait, and he feels like he knows her, but she doesn't tell him she's the one who saved him, the reason he's still alive and with his daughter. Seon sees the artist's young daughter, who is now recovered after her surgery. The girl is happy and healthy, and Seon offers her candy before walking away. Just then, she gets a phone call from the person she had asked to search for her daughter. Yes, the daughter she thought had died, the reason she entered the game in the first place, but it turns out her daughter is still alive, in China. Shocked, Seon decides to go find her. Meanwhile, Hwang is waiting for the assistant who was recently released from prison. We find out the assistant resigned from the police force. When he returns home, he finds the little girl with a card from the game. It says she is the winner. Next to the card is a bank card loaded with 45 billion won. Hwang realizes it was his brother who sent it, entrusting him to raise the girl. The assistant then heads to the place where Gi-hun had hidden his money, only to discover it's all gone. He's stunned, not knowing who could have taken it. It turns out the game master took it all and fled to America. He visits Gi-hun's daughter there, bringing her a box. He tells her, "Your father, he passed away. He asked me to bring you this." The girl is cold. She says she doesn't want anything from her father. She had waited so long for a call, a message, anything, but nothing came. He tells her again, "I'm sorry, but he's gone." And this is all he had left. He hands her the box and leaves. Inside, she finds her father's signature outfit, his player number, and the bank card holding all his money. As the game master walks away, he spots a woman playing with game cards, the Squid Game cards. She smirks at him. Yes, dear viewer, it's Squid Game American Edition. This means the game isn't over, it's just moved, and the season ends on that note. But is it really the end, or is there a new chapter coming? If you liked this and want a second season recap the moment it drops, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe, dear friends. If you're new here and haven't subscribed yet, shame on you. Hit that button. Much love to you all.